Good morning, everyone. It's Debbie from Dare to Date. This is my third time. You have to love the internet connection, don't you? Before I get started on what I want to talk about today, I went to visit my mum the other day, and she'd been watching the videos, and she said she much prefers the red wall. And I'm like, why do you prefer the red wall? And her reasoning was she really dislikes the painting hanging behind me. Now, I'm old enough that I'm not that bothered about what my mum thinks one way or the other, but I'd love to hear your opinion. Do you love or hate the painting behind me? Just be interested to know. Anyway, what I want to talk to you about today is having high standards. Now, I've been running singles events for over 7 years in Perth, and I've lost track of the thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that I've met, singles, and spoken to, and I've also coached and worked with them, done some matchmaking, etc. So it's given me a really good idea of what singles think and how they feel in the space. Now, the one thing that goes without fail that singles tell me is that they have high standards. I'm like, great, high standards when it comes to the most important thing of our lives. It's really worthwhile. But when I ask them a few more questions about their high standards, it's really interesting about the things they have high standards on. It seems to be really the superficial stuff, looks, jobs, height, weight, etc. Not anything else. So the high standards are really physical attributes and not anything else. And I don't know about you, it's really interesting. I was in a very long-term relationship with someone I consider really good looking, but I failed to notice their looks, as you do on a day-to-day basis. But what you do notice when you're with someone is you notice how they make you feel. And how someone makes you feel in the long term is so much more important than their looks. So what's really important to have is to have high standards on how someone treats you, on how they make you feel, not on the superficial stuff. I mean, when it comes to coaching people, it's been really interesting the things that they do have high standards. They'll say, I've got high standards, and then you'll talk to them and they go, okay, well, I've been in this relationship where the person's cheated on me 5 times, but I still want them back. Or I'm in a relationship where they continually criticize me and make me feel bad, but I'm desperately in love with them. I'm in a relationship and I can't trust them, but I love them and I want to be there. Or, they're in a relationship where the person can't commit to them, so they're literally taking crumbs. So they really don't have high standards about the things that matter. And it's really key to have standards and have your self-worth and self-value about the things that matter. I mean, everyone has got their own worth and everyone is unique. And so having self-esteem and high worth is the most important thing that you can do in the dating space and will make the most difference. Now, I've been watching Single Wives, and it's really interesting to watch from the outside in and look at what people are doing. It's really easy to see what people are doing. You look at those girls, there's 4 of them, and they're all stunningly gorgeous. Yet, being gorgeous alone doesn't get you the relationship you want. It comes down to, a lot of them have been hurt previously, so they'll recreate patterns where they're getting hurt again. Or, they're desperate. There's one girl that tends to laugh too loudly or interview people and not build a connection with them. Then you have Sheridan, who's been married twice, and her second husband cheated on her and she absolutely adored him. So in the first episode, she had to speed date, I don't know whether it was 10 or 15 guys, and out of 10 or 15, she only chose one. She was really superficial on, they weren't big enough, they were too short, didn't have any hair, etc., etc., etc. And, there she was saying, well, I've got high standards on what I want to accept from someone. So then, as the show goes on, she starts to have a relationship with her husband's great mate. Now, there's 8 billion people on the planet. And of all of those people, she chooses that one guy. And when you look at him, if she'd have speed date him, he would have not met her criteria. You know, didn't have the hair, he's not especially big, he's not especially tall. And, you know, it's interesting when she interacts with him. She'll put him down. She, you know, is not trusting of what he's doing. It's almost like she's looking for fault. And where am I getting to with this point? Well, what was interesting is in the show, Matt Hussey pulls her up on what she's doing, and the rest of Australia can see what she's doing, but she can't see it, and she gets quite offended about the dating advice that she gives him. He gives her, sorry. But, you know, that can be all of us. We often have blind spots and love blocks of stuff that we don't see that we're actually doing that's creating our reality. You know, often there's not anything that we need to fix or we need to change, but what we need to do is to value ourselves and value what treatment we will and won't accept. And my favourite saying comes from the Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is we accept the love we think we deserve. So when you have high standards for how you'll allow people to treat you, because people will only treat us how we allow them to. And, you know, every relationship, we've been there. We either create them willingly or unwillingly. So it's really important to look at what and how you do things in that space and have high standards for yourself. And, you know, people do ask me with the coaching what we actually do in that space. Well, we actually tailor it and look at what you're doing and how you're going about creating your reality that you are. And often it can be silly things that we're doing. And, you know, like we look on the First Wives show, there's simple things that they could change that would change everything. And it's not down to looks or how amazing they are. Sometimes we're so scared of getting hurt again, like Sheridan, that we create situations that are guaranteed to create more drama and hurt in our lives by what we're doing and what we're choosing. And that's where having the high standards comes in, and, you know, changing some of the way we think and we do things. So I want to leave you with that. Have high standards about the things that matter. Have high standards about how you allow someone to treat you, not on the superficial things that as you go down the track of being in a relationship simply don't matter. Now, before I finish, I want to tell you about 2 events I'm really excited about that are coming up. And when you're single, one of the biggest things can be that you don't have a group of friends because all your friends are in relationships, etc. So for the girls specifically, this Sunday, I've got a Sunday session at the Brisbane Hotel where you'll get a chance to meet some new friends and just have a fun, relaxed afternoon. So make sure you go online and book Sunday. The other thing that I've got coming up is 7 weeks of coaching, and the coaching is a program to actually get you in the best possible place to find the love that you're looking for, and to look at some of those blocks, look at some of those beliefs and how you're showing up. It's not about fixing or changing something. Sometimes we've done a lot of work on ourselves, and it could be like, you know, you've done all this stuff, but you left the you've left the roots of the weeds just growing, and it keeps coming back and keeps coming back. So if you want to create lasting change and you're serious, make sure you book in. It's over 7 weeks, because if you want to create lasting change, you just don't come once. We're kind of going to do an intense look at your patterns, how you're going about what you're doing, as well as at the end when we work through the deep stuff, looking at how you can achieve better success in what you're doing dating. So it's amazing value. I think it works out to be about $62 a week, and you even get a free one-on-one coaching session at the end of it, so you can, you know, kind of look at what you need to do. Anyway, on that note, hi Paul, I hope that you're feeling okay and hope everything goes well while you're in hospital. On that note, I want to say thanks for watching me, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, I asked you at the beginning of the video, my mum hates the painting behind me, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you like it, hate it? Just say hate or like. I'd love to know. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. It's been nice chatting to you. Bye.